Hey everyone, welcome to a new video, welcome to my channel. My name is Maaike. Today we are going to be doing a full face of Urban Decay because Urban Decay is probably one of my favorite high-end brands, if not one of my all-time favorite brands, and of course they just came out with this baby. So I thought we could also try this for the first time in today's video. I've got a couple of new products to me as well. Because I didn't have a full face of Urban Decay when I decided I wanted to do this video. I already had a lot, so that's why Urban Decay will probably be one of the very few like more high-end brands in my full face of series, because I don't tend to have like that many products from a brand if they are a bit more expensive, because they are more expensive. So that's why for Urban Decay I felt I could do it. The only thing I'm missing by Urban Decay is a primer. And that will be the first step in my makeup routine. The reason why I don't have an Urban Decay primer is because they've never really come out with a primer that appeals to me. They do this optical illusion one that seems to be a bit more blurring, but a lot of their primers seems to be, you know, they seem to be targeted to more oilier skin types, and a lot of their base products actually are, whereas I have more of a dry skin type. So that's why I also wanted to chat to you about some other products in my little Urban Decay family in my makeup collection, to sort of let you also know my thoughts about some other products. And that's because I just have a long history with Urban Decay and liking a lot of their products. So that's why I thought I could do this video in a slightly different way. I've got coffee because it's the first weekend of summer break, and I'm still tired, but I really wanted to film this video because I just can't wait to play with this, because I finally got it in the mail and I was like, I need to sit down and do a look with it. So I did prep my skin so that we have, you know, something to work with. And let's just start with foundation first, just what I needed. So for foundation, I have three options, and I know exactly which one I'm gonna use because it's the one that is my favorite of the ones you can still get. But this is my little Urban Decay foundation family. This is their latest one. This is the Stay Naked. This is not my favorite Urban Decay foundation, but it is the one that I like the best that you can still buy. So that's what I'm gonna be putting on my face. So let's talk about some older things that I've had for a while. One of my all-time favorite foundations was sadly discontinued, and it's the Naked Skin foundation. This is a super lightweight, light coverage foundation. I have this in the shade 1.5, which perhaps looks a little bit dark, but because this is such a lightweight coverage, I always felt I could get away with it. It's got a bit of a pinky undertone, so this is one you can no longer buy, and it is my favorite Urban Decay foundation, which is why I still own mine. I think I've used about half of this. This is the Urban Decay Naked Skin, which is my favorite, but I also own the All Nighter, and this is shade 2.5, and there you have that. And as you can see, that's a lot lighter and a lot fuller coverage. And I quite like the All Nighter, which is why I've always kept it around, because the All Nighter is probably my favorite, like very full coverage, more high-end foundation that I own, which is why I still have it, but I don't really like full coverage all that much. So the one I will be using, and that's simply because it's probably the best shade match out of the three for me, is the Stay Naked. This is in the shade 20NN, and this is really lovely. And I bought this the minute it came out, and I already reviewed this on my blog. This is sort of like if the Naked Skin and the All Nighter had a baby, it would be this. This is more of a lightweight, medium coverage foundation. For my preferences, it's perhaps a little bit too matte. I like the dewy, lightweight finish of the Naked Skin so much more, but I think that for the brand and a foundation that I think a lot of people will like, that's a lot more universally appealing, the Stay Naked is perhaps better. It's got a great shade range too. It has different undertones. I always go for the neutral undertones in this because that's just what I prefer. So let me put this on my face. Ooh, it may actually be a bit light for me. I've got a little bit tan over the springtime, especially because we had some nice weather, and because I was working from home, I was able to sit outside a lot more than I normally do. So I definitely do have a little bit more color to my face than when I probably last bought this. So maybe it's a bit light. Oh no, it's fine. Like, as long as it matches here, my neck is a lot lighter. than the rest of my face. But yeah, this is currently what's on the market, so let's stick to that. I have the same issue with concealers. My favorite Urban Decay concealer is the Naked Skin, and this is actually what I'm not going to be using because it's still unopened. I have this in the shade Fair Neutral. This was a repurchase. I bought it right before they discontinued it, and it's still unopened till this day. It's just one of those products I just need to cave and just use it up. So the choice is going to be between the All Nighter and the Stay Naked, and I have to say that of these two concealers, the Stay Naked is definitely my favorite. I have the All Nighter also in Fair Neutral, and I have this one also in the shade that matches the foundation, which is 20NN. This is a really nice lightweight concealer. Again, it's a little bit in between the All Nighter and the Naked Skin. I like something like the Naked Skin a lot more in the summertime, for instance, because it is more lightweight and it has a very lightweight texture. This is more like a wintertime product for me when I feel, because I usually am a bit paler, you can see my under eye dark circles a lot better. I don't know if that's true, but that's how I experience it. So this is the one I'm going to go in with again, because this is the one you can get. And I think I have dark circles at the moment because, boy, these last couple of weeks before summer, they always take it out. They always do. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I like these Stay Naked products, but I do feel that since I have a drier skin type, I do need to make sure I moisturize really well underneath it, because else I feel it can emphasize texture. And that's what we don't want. So for me, the Naked Skin was just a much more perfect line than the Stay Naked, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I do like these, and if I want to reach for an Urban Decay product, at least I have some. Let's see if we can fix this face with a powder. And this is a fairly new product. This came out earlier in the year, and it was one I really wanted to try because I've never tried a powder by Urban Decay. But it is a mattifying powder, and it is a powder that can be used to set makeup, but it can also be sort of your powder foundation, and it is this. And this is Stay Naked The Fix. I really like the packaging. It opens up when you press the little button. It's got a little sponge in the bottom. So this is very new to me. I haven't put this on my face yet. So I did get this in a slightly darker shade than the foundations and concealer I just used. This is in 30NN because 20NN didn't exist. And the other one was really pink, and I don't really like super pink powders on me. So hopefully this can also then sort of make me look less super deadly pale. So these are definitely more like when I'm at my palest kind of situation. So I don't want to use too much of this because I'm not sure how matte it will be and how much coverage it will add. Yeah, this is definitely a little darker than the other products I have put on. So this is sort of making me look a little less ghostly. But yeah, hey, we're gonna use bronzer and blush and highlight, so usually I don't mind if it looks a little less, like a little pale. So alright, I think I quite like this. I will just have to use this more, and I'm currently still working on a ColourPop powder, and I still have some other powders I also want to try, but at some point I know I will be putting this in a Shop My Stash to really give it a try and see if it can be used as a like makeup setting powder. It's it make my skin look very even. So it does add a little bit of coverage, I feel, but if you use a very light hand, you can make it work. On to another new to me product, and this is why I'm filming this video at the start of my vacation, because I won't have to see anyone for the next couple of days. And the product we'll be using for brows is their Inked Brow. And the reason why I got this, because I've never tried Urban Decay brow stuff, just like I'd never tried an Urban Decay powder before. And this is a brow gel coloring product that stays in your brows for 3 days, even if you use makeup remover. So this can either look super cool, and it can be like the solution to all your brow problems, or this is going to be one big giant disaster and it's going to look a hot mess. So this is in the shade Taupe Trap. So this is the shade for blondes. And I remember I went to the store to see which brow product I could try. I've never tried a product like this before that really stays put. And I just thought that that could be cool to try that for this video, just to not go in with a brow pencil like I usually do. So it has this like wand with some sort of brush. And I already put this on the back of my hand in the store and found that, oh yeah, at that time, you could definitely tell that this will stay because it was on there for a few minutes and it definitely took a while for it to disappear. So I'm gonna apply this with a little brush that I like to use if I use something like a brow pomade. So this is a very liquidy kind of product. There we have it. So I'm just gonna stick this in and I'm going to start in the middle of my brow because I don't mind it if my brow is a little dark here, but not here in the front. So let's see if I can just make little like brush strokes, what that will do. Ooh, it is a really nice shade. I was afraid it might be too warm, which if you are a blonde and you have fair skin and like blonde hair, you know the agony of trying to find a brow product that isn't red in your brows or orange. This is actually really nice. Fills them in nicely. Do you see that difference? It definitely looks more defined, but not in a blocky brow kind of way. I was afraid it would do that. And I like how precise you can be with this. If you have like a good tool like this, you can really sort of get in there. Like I always have this little gap here in this brow. And I feel like I can really sort of fill it in, but without making it look very strange. So this is nice. I like this. I'll just make sure that this gets a bit of time to dry down, and then I'll just put in, like just brush my brows with a bit of a spoolie in a minute. But now that we have a base down, I would like to go in with face products. And I have quite a few here. And what I have here is bronzer, blush, and highlight, of course. So the bronzer that I have is the Beach Bronzer. And this was in my bronzer declutter after this video. I'm no longer going to be using this product because this is the lightest shade that they do. This is in the shade Sun-Kissed. And it is a little bit dark for me for most of the year. Maybe now that I do have a bit more color to my complexion, which I completely erased just now. This may work because it is the summer, and this was a product that when I was still using it more regularly, I was mainly using it in the summer. That's because it has a reddish undertone, and reddish tone bronzers I love for the summertime because they give you this very sun-kissed look. And I remember really liking this product, but always feeling it was just not entirely perfect. This only comes in 2 shades. I wish they did this in like 5 or 6, like Becca does, things like that. So this is just, I think I can make it work right now. Like I said, it is summer, so it doesn't look weird if you look a little too bronzed, but let's see what my stipple brush and me can come up with. See, it does, yeah, it does work right now. Oh, why did I want to declutter this again? I always have this. This is why I never swatch products in my decluttering videos, because when I actually touch the product, I just want to keep everything. Yeah, this is just, it is pretty. Ooh, it is a really lovely bronzer for the summertime. And with a stipple brush like this, this is a tip that I also like picked up along the way. With a brush like this like stipple brush thing, you can never really overdo it, which is lovely. And this is one of those bronzers that just really, oh, look at that. It just blends perfectly. It's not patchy at all. Yeah, I do see, like in real life, I feel it looks like a little too obvious that you're wearing bronzer, if you know what I mean. And plus, it just instantly makes my face look more alive. So, as I already said, now I don't want to declutter this anymore. Story of my life. All right. I always like to go in with highlighter next because I like to use my blush to sort of blend in the bronzer and the highlight together. I only have one Urban Decay highlighter, and that's this one. This is their Aura highlighter. Everybody went crazy for Sin when these came out, and I have the pinky purpley glowy one. And it's one of my favorite highlighters I have till this day. I mean, you can't really tell on camera, I'm sure, but it's got dents and scrapes, and this actually has an actual dent in it because of how much I've used it. I do find that this is very similar though to Becca's Prismatic Amethyst. That is a bit more sparkly. This is like the more subtle everyday version of that. It is perhaps a little bit more cool toned than what I would go for now in the summertime. This is definitely one that I love to wear in like the wintertime when I'm super pale. This works really well, but I don't have any other Urban Decay highlighters, so that's why I'm just gonna go with it. And let's see what it looks like right now. Ooh, yeah. I think it will be very nice with the purple tones in the eyeshadow that I will be using, of course, with the Naked Violet. Oh, this is so stunning if you have fair skin. And I remember everybody was going crazy, like absolutely crazy for Sin. And when I spotted these in store, I was like, with the makeup artist, like negotiating, like, which one should I get? And she was like, well, you're quite fair, so you may want to try this like pinky purpley one. Again, such nice blendability. It just diffuses onto skin, and it's got glow, but it's not like kapow metallic glow. And that's what I've always liked about this so much. Like Urban Decay cheek products, I think, are super underrated. And that also goes for these. These have been discontinued. I think the highlighters may have been discontinued as well, at least the single ones. I think they still do like a blush bronzer highlight in like these little palettes, but I've never liked those. But I wanted to talk about the Afterglow blushes. And these I discovered right as they were being discontinued. So I bought a couple of these on sale. And what I appreciated about this blush line was that it didn't just come in standard colors. So the one that is currently in my shop, my stash, and that I think I will be using is Bang. And it is a orange toned matte red. And when you swatch this, it looks like eyeshadow. It is that intense. So a little goes a long way. I like to apply this with a very wispy blush brush, like this Quo brush that is a dupe for a very expensive NARS one. This has hardly any hairs to it. Like, it has no give. Like, don't go in with a very stiff brush because that will make you look like a clown, but go in with a very light hand and it gives you that very sort of like sun-kissed look. So I think I want to use that in a minute because whenever do you use red blush? But the same goes for this. This is Bittersweet. And Bittersweet is purple, and I love this in the winter time because it has a bluish undertone. So this highlighter and then this blush, you guys, it's a winter staple combination for me, and I love it. And then I also have two more like neutrally blushes by them. I have Video, which is like my only brown tone blush, and that was something I really liked about this blush line, is that the shades were like, they had this the peaches and the pinks that everybody does, but they also had these very unique shades. One of my favorites for the fall time, Rapture. This is the best berry shade of blush I've ever found, and so stunning. But since it's summer, I'm gonna go in with Bang. Oh, and what I love about this, do you see with this, I think you can see it the best. Do you see how the color of the blush is coming through the top? I thought that was very clever. So if you have 4 of these, you can very easily spot which ones they are, especially if they are a bright color. So I'm just gonna go one, like just that, because else, oh yeah, there we go. Else you just get a bit too much. And I'd rather build this up than go to town a little too much. But do you see how that just gives a very natural, like, flushed look? I just love how this looks also in real life. It gives you a nice poppy cheek. I think the camera is washing it out a little bit too much, but I do love my Urban Decay complexion products, and they should be raved about a lot more. And I just realized I forgot to bring my eyeshadow primer that I usually use, the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. I forgot to bring it up here, so I very quickly also applied some concealer to my lids just to even it out a little bit. And then we're gonna go in with the Naked Violet, Ultraviolet, I should say. And this is a palette that a lot of people are giving a lot of slack. I have to say, I was surprised when I swatched this. Surprised in a good way, because I feel it has quite a bit of dimension. And when I spotted the pictures online, I was like, what am I gonna do with those warm tones that are in the first half of the palette? But actually Dazed and VR are duochromes. There are 3 duochromes in here, which is also, it also has Lucid, which is like a greenish, bluish sort of tone, but especially VR is like a glittery, sparkly, multi-chrome kind of situation. And Dazed is like a, has like a peachy gold kind of flip to it. That's probably the least flippy. It is more of like a duochrome, but it's not very strong. But then it does give you these 2 like more special shades. And also in the range of purples, I feel we get like a pink to blue shift, and we get a blue to a pink shift. So I do feel that Urban Decay with this palette is trying to emulate or include some of like the trends that you see in indie makeup, which is a lot of multi-chromes and duochromes. But of course, Urban Decay has had these kind of formulas in their, what are called, moon dust shadows. So for instance, this VR shade really reminds me of Solstice. It isn't the same shade, but I feel it has a very similar texture to it. So it's almost as if you're getting some moon dust shadows in this palette, which I appreciate. I mean, I was very surprised with that. So in the end, I feel that you're getting like your 2 like basic sort of neutrally mattes, that if you don't want to go super colorful, but you want to make it a bit more neutral, you can, with some interesting sparkle. And then you get your purples. And I'm like, I think it's brilliant. It is the kind of purple that is supposed to be, it is a naked palette. So this isn't like boom purple, but this is like the kind of purple that if you blend it out, it can also be muted down. So these are the kind of purples that are super pretty on the lower lash line. I do have one critique when it comes to the purples, and that is that I'm missing a matte purple. So in terms of mattes, again, Urban Decay is not doing a great job, because I think you only get like 3. Well, maybe 4 if we count Trippin', but I think that has a bit of sparkle. So it would have been nice if, for instance, Purple Dust, that would have been a matte to go with these other ones. But I just want to go in with the purples today, you guys. Maybe I'll use VR to top something off if I want to, but I can definitely see myself like doing 2 or 3 different looks with this. One that's more purple, one that's fully neutral, and then one that's truly a mix. So today I want to go for the purples, for sure. But I'm first going to set that concealer that I applied to my lid before it starts to crease with a bit of Trippin', which is that creamy shade at the top. All right, so we're zoomed in, and like I mentioned, there isn't really anything for the crease to go with these purples. So I think I'm just, you know, go bold or go home. I think I'm going to start off with Cyberpunk, and I'm just going to put it in the crease. I just want to slap that in the crease and see if it works, because, you know, you guys, very often you can simply use a satin in the crease. Everybody's going, you need a matte in the crease. You don't need a matte in the crease. You can also use a satin, and it can then still work. What I appreciate about Urban Decay, because I didn't mention this yet, but Urban Decay makes my favorite eyeshadow formula, and that's because it's buildable. I love being able to build up a look and not just have like boom pigment and then I'm like, ooh, now I gotta blend stuff out. I'd rather build it up. I love how this is like purpley, but also a bit pink. Like, I think this works really well. Yeah, so I feel that even though this shade has shimmer, it still works in the crease just fine, you guys. So this is definitely like, it's a sheer ish kind of formula. So I can see why people go like, no, it's not that great and all that, but I just feel that this is the kind of shadow that you can keep building and it never looks like too much. And it's still a naked palette, you guys, so it's sort of Urban Decay trying to make purple more wearable almost, it seems. I think I'll use Purple Dust. It's very shimmery, but I'm gonna use that in the outer V because I think it will give me the depth that I would like to get there. Yeah, this is like a true royal purple shimmer, whereas the other one pulls a lot more pink, as you can see. Ah, these blend together so nicely. I really like how these two shades play off each other. So you have that depth of Purple Dust, but then you get that pinkiness more towards the inner corner from Cyberpunk. Let me put a little bit of that Purple Dust shade again, but this time I'm going to put it on the lower lash line, just here. And I'm doing this with a very stiff brush to really get that depth. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to pick my like lid shade, and I've got two choices. I have Warning and I've got Euphoria, and I think Warning is more pink and Euphoria is more blue, so I think I want to put Warning on the lid because I'm afraid that if I put Warning on the lower lash line it might make me look ill, whereas Euphoric, because it has that blueness to it, will hopefully be very nice and bright on that lower lash line. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let me grab my Sigma E55 and apply Warning to sort of that bit. And of course right now what you could do is do like a half cut crease or anything like that, but I don't want to do that. I just want to keep it nicely diffused. That's what I'm going for here, you guys. A diffused purple look. Ooh, I think this is nice. Yeah, this is very sheer. I do have to say that Warning feels like it could do with a base or, you know, foiling or like a bit of layering as well. But this is pretty. So I really like how this plays off of each other. I am going to stick my finger into this and just intensify it a bit. Ooh, yeah. So I don't mind applying eyeshadow with my fingers. And that always helps the shimmer just come alive when you put it on the lid. Look at that brightness. Now I'm going to take Euphoric, which is that blue tone purple, and again with that very dense brush on the lower lash line. And that's just what I'm going to use all along here. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted. Do you see that? It just adds such a nice pop of brightness. I'm going to give it all, like take it all the way into the inner corner. On camera, it just doesn't look as vibrant as it does in real life, you guys. So there is a shade in here which is like a matte lavender kind of shade called Optimized. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use that shade to really diffuse all the edges. And for that I'm going to be using two different brushes. I'm going to be using this very wispy Zoeva brush on the top half, and this Zoeva Lux crease around this side because I feel that that always works. So I'm first going to start at the bottom. So now I want to use Digital, and Digital is the darkest shade in the palette, and I'm going to use it as liner because I feel that this needs a little bit more darkness around the edge of the lower lash line, top lash line, I should say. So I'm just going to start here, and I love using eyeshadow as liner. I hardly ever use liquid liner anymore or gel liner because it's too much of a faff. And with this, if you make a mistake, you just apply the other shade over it again and you can just blend it in. Just because we are having fun anyways, I want to put Lucid, which is that duochrome like bluey green shade. I'm going to put that in the very inner corner here just as a bit of highlight. I think it can, ooh, yes, that's a pretty combination right there. Ooh, Love it. All right, so I put on mascara. This is the finished look with the Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet. I like this. I think this is a very pretty purple look. Urban Decay purples have always been some of my favorite purples ever. They are a brand that has never struggled with doing purples. It is their signature color for a reason, I would have to say. And I have to say that I am loving these purples. Like Warning, Cyberpunk, Euphoric, and Purple Dust are like a purple lover's dream. I love how you get the blue undertone, the pink undertone, how you get a royal purple. Yeah, I'm very happy with this. I have two lipsticks here that I wanted to, because I wasn't sure which one would go. I've got Liar and Backtalk, but actually last year, I think more than a year ago, I did a full video, which I'll make sure to link in the eye above, where I swatched on my lips as well as on my hands all of the Urban Decay lipsticks that I have. I went with two nudes because I knew this was going to be a purple look. So I've got Liar. That's a bit warm. And I've got Backtalk, which is more cool toned, which is one of my favorite shades. Oh yeah, it's gonna be Backtalk. They did an entire palette inspired by this shade. It's one of their best-selling lipsticks. It's a pinky mauve. It's one of the best pinky mauves on the market. All right, so I feel this goes with this purpley look very well because it has that pinky purpliness to the lipstick as well. I really like this. Got one more product for you, and that's the All Nighter setting spray. This is not my favorite setting spray, but this is like my third bottle of this. I have only ever bought it in the travel size because I know a full size would just be too big. This is a little too heavy duty for what I want from a setting spray. I like my setting spray to, yes, make my makeup last, but I prefer them to be more on the dewy side, which I feel I get out of the Catrice and the Makeup Revolution sprays a lot more than I do out of this one. Again, like I mentioned, I feel that Urban Decay base products are much more aimed at oily skin people, which is not me. So I like this to make sure my makeup lasts all day. So I love this actually in the summertime when my makeup tends to break down a bit more quickly. I feel this really helps with the longevity of my makeup. But to be quite honest, do I need this for every day? I definitely don't. Without further ado, this was my full face of Urban Decay. Thank you very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more by me. I typically make 3 new videos a week. Very shortly, coming your way as of August 1st, will be August palette month. So I'm going to do a full month only about eyeshadow palettes starting on August 1st. And you're getting an extra video a week during the month of August. So I hope you are excited and looking forward to it. I certainly am. I'm going to be spending the next couple of weeks filming extra stuff so I can just get everything out there for that special month that I think I'm going to be doing for the 3rd year in a row now. So I hope you would like to stay tuned for all of that goodness, and then I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!